All right, welcome everyone. It is time for another long time ago top 10 TVC Most Wanted. We've covered the prequels, the original trilogy. Last time out we did the sequels. We've done a load of the TV shows already, but we haven't done this one. It is time for Andor. Now we've just finished watching this, and it was so good, and there's so many good characters to pick in this one. I think you're going to receive some backlash for missed figures here, but anyone knows that we do our viewers' choice now, so you can always get those in the comments, and we'll add them to our viewers' choice list. So far, Martyn, they've done 6 TVC figures for Andor.
Yep.
Loads to pick from. This must have been pretty tricky.
Yeah, this was really hard because I love this show so much, and it's got so many well-written characters and so many great, bit part characters. You name it, it's got it. It's just a plethora of characters in this show, and I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to miss lots of people's character choices here, but I've kind of gone with 10 characters that were my favorite characters in it, as well as characters that I think would look great as a figure and great on a card back. So it's kind of a mix of the two. So there's some of my choices. People will probably think, why on earth would we want an action figure of them? But this is my top 10. Please put your own top 10 in the comments. But I love the show.
I will add that you've probably picked a couple of these or a couple of the characters when you did your Rogue One picks, right?
I think
not these ones, but like the reason they didn't make the list is what I'm saying is they might have made your Rogue One list, so that's why you wouldn't have put them in here.
Yeah, so one of the characters, for example, was General Draven, who was in my Rogue One picks, and of course, I would love to have him in this list, but I've already picked him. So these are ones that have not been picked on any previous list, with the exception of one, maybe.
Yeah. Well, let's get straight into it then, because this should be fun. I think I could have picked 10 for this one that are completely different from your list. So let's go into it. Number 10.
Okay. Number 10, I've gone for Kino Loy from season 1. Obviously, Andy Serkis's character from the prison. Really simple, obviously, outfit that he'd be wearing as an action figure. Would be an amazing card back with the image of him perhaps talking over the microphone when he's telling all the other prisoners to run. So
one way out.
One way out, exactly. So yeah, I think he's a must if we can only pick 10 for me. Great character, great acting, fantastic, one of the best episodes in the whole series. So number 10, Kino Loy.
And that is one of those outfits that you could get multiple figures, couldn't you, and just use them. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, number 9.
Okay, yeah, number 9 is B2EMO. And I know we've had him on the Droid Factory line, but I find it quite surprising that we haven't had him on a vintage card yet. I mean, such an easy figure for Hasbro to put together and stick out on a card back. I'm really surprised, and quite a popular droid as well. Wouldn't have been what I'd normally pick, I don't think, but I think if you've got like a play diorama or something of Andor, you need B2EMO, don't you, to be in the diorama, and I think he'd look quite good on a card back as well as a carded collector. So yeah, number 9, B2EMO.
Yeah, that's a good pick, and obviously that character on the Droid Factory line is very pricey these days, so would be a welcome addition for me as well. Up next then, number 8.
Okay, number 8, probably my most controversial choice. I've gone for Senator Bail Organa in his Senate outfit. Now, I know I've chosen him before I think I might have picked him in Rogue One or perhaps in the Revenge of the Sith top 10 picks. I can't exactly remember, but I know I've picked him once before.
Okay.
But I really like the senatorial outfits, uniforms, whatever the senators wear. And I always love the politics side of Star Wars, and I don't know. There's something about the character I really like as well, because I guess he's an old school character that you never saw in the original trilogy. And I think Benjamin Bratt, who stepped in to play him in Andor, did an excellent job for the smaller amount of scenes he was in. So, yeah, I think I'd go number 8, Senator Bail Organa.
Yeah, completely disagree with that pick. There's so many wonderful characters out there that you could have picked, and you went with him. But never mind. Let's move on. Number 7.
Okay, number 7, I've gone for Sergeant Gariel. Now, for those who don't remember who he is, he's the ISB tactical trooper who went in to try and capture Melshi and Andor because they went to try and rescue Clea on Coruscant. And I picked him because I really like the tactical trooper outfit that you see a few times in a few episodes. It's a new trooper outfit, so again, Hasbro could release other figures in that line if they wanted to. But I also liked the fact that he had the old 70s moustache. And I think I said it in one of our review shows. I think that was a really cool thing that they did with a few characters to kind of tie it in with that 70s look of the original Star Wars movie that came out, and Rogue One did the same. So I appreciate those little touches. And I really like the tactical trooper uniforms. So number 7, Sergeant Gariel.
Yeah. Okay. I had a bit of a gripe with that particular that uniform, but we'll save that for another episode, I think.
Okay.
Let's move on. Number 6.
Okay, number 6. I've gone for this guy purely because I like how evil he is, and how good he would be on a card back image wise and as a figure. I've gone for number 6, Dr. Gorst, who's obviously the evil surgeon / torturer of Bix, who she finally manages to take revenge on in season 2. I think he's a nasty piece of work, and he's played really well by the actor. And there's this maniacal look he gives in one of the scenes that I think would look great as an image on a card back. So number 6, Dr. Gorst.
Okay, well, fair enough. This is your top 10. It's not mine. So I think I'm just going to have to speak for the audience on this one and just tell you you're wrong. So that's your first 5 anyway. So I hope you're all probably in agreement with me that he's a little bit off the mark on some of these. But you haven't heard his top 5, so I think we'll go straight into that, shall we? Number 5, Martyn.
Okay. Number 5. Now, this is when it started to get difficult because I wanted to pick characters that I felt stole the show, and the people who perhaps didn't get the credit in the story. I should say, not in the series, but in the story of Star Wars. So number 5, I've gone for Lonnie Young, who was obviously the undercover ISB agent that was working with Luthen Rail. Well, they weren't really a partner, were they? I mean, he was being used the whole time, and Luthen takes him out. Spoilers, sorry, at the end. But I thought, I really like the ISB Imperial Officer outfit. Obviously, we've had Dedra Meero already, so we've kind of got that sculpt. We've also had Krennic as well. So that wouldn't be too difficult. But I think if I'd love to recreate an ISB, the big table that they sit around in the meetings. How cool would that be if Hasbro released that, and we had ISB agents all sat around it? I mean, that would look so cool. Oh my god, I'm getting into loose collecting far too much. Number 5, Lonnie Young.
I do like that pick. I like that character. But let's move on. Number 4 then.
Okay, number 4, I wrestled with number 4, but I think she definitely deserves to be picked in the top 10 in my eyes. So I've gone for Bix Kalleen. And she went on quite the story arc of the 2 seasons of Andor. And I think, again, perhaps not the most interesting action figure to be made of that character, or perhaps you could argue that it wouldn't be the best car back image in the world, most interesting perhaps. That argument could be made. I disagree. I think it would be great, which is why I picked her as number 4. But again, as I said at the beginning, I've picked a lot of these because I love their characters perhaps more than I want to see them as action figures, and I'd love to have them as an action figure and a card back so that I can see them on my shelf and remember, God, that was a great scene with that, and she was great in that scene. That's kind of where I'm coming from with her.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Couples well with Dr. Gorst as well, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
there you go. You see, we could have a
yeah.
two-pack with a chair where she's getting tortured.
Yeah. And and when she reverses the role, she
Yeah.
switches. You could
Yep.
do the same back. Come on, Hasbro, we're doing it all for you. We're doing your job for you. Number 3, come on.
Okay, number 3, I've gone for a fan favorite of mine, Major Partagaz.
Mm.
Again, one of the best characters in Andor. So subtle in everything, but so brilliantly played by the guy who played him. I forget his name. Do apologise.
Anton Lesser.
And I will thank you, Anton Lesser.
Mm. He was
Now
brilliant.
again, he was brilliant, and again, we've got the uniform already mould. We've got that mould already made, so it wouldn't be too difficult to stick. Perhaps change the body length or whatever, and then add his head on. But we could have him in perhaps his long coat version that we see when he's outside of the ISB. Just to mix it
Yeah.
up a little bit. Again, this is purely a choice through having him on my shelf and being able to look at that card back and go, oh god, that was great, that scene when he did that, and that's great when
Yeah.
that scene when he did this. I love this show so much. It's so difficult to pick 10.
Yeah. And I think you're thinking about your ISB roundtable as well, aren't you? So
Yeah, subtly.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 then.
Okay, number 2, my MVP and favorite character in the whole of the series, Clea Markey. I think she's absolutely phenomenal in this
Mm-hmm.
show. I think for me, she steals every scene that she's in. And when you get to the end of season 2, you realize when you go back and watch all the scenes that she was in where she wasn't doing too much, she was doing a lot. And she was the linchpin for the whole of the show, really.
Mm.
I'd even argue that perhaps the show should have been called Clea rather than Andor, because she's pretty much with Luthen responsible for the formation of the Rebel Alliance. And I found all the outfits that she wore in the show as well were absolutely phenomenal. The wardrobe for her was absolutely incredible, and I'm sitting here right now giving you her as number 2, and I've got 2 outfits in mind, and I can't choose one, so I'm going to have to choose one of these 2. The first one is the red outfit that she wears when she goes to meet Val in the first season secretly in the streets of Coruscant. But
Okay.
the one I've decided on is the blue outfit that she wears when she goes to the party, and she's trying to get the bug from out of underneath the antique,
Yeah.
and she's telling him the story of the antique. I think that's a phenomenal look. I think it would make a phenomenal card back, and the only reason she's not number 1 is because my number 1 is a character that would be unforgivable not to be number 1.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be a lot of people's number 1s, but
Yeah.
let's just confirm that. Number
Yeah.
1 for Andor, Martin.
Number 1, Luthen Rail,
Of course.
in his kind of sort of out of the antique shop rebel garb. I don't know what we'd call it, but yeah,
Okay.
perhaps the garb that he's wearing when he goes to meet Lonnie in that lift shaft.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible performance, absolutely incredible character. The
Yeah.
writing was fantastic. You do feel a bit sorry for him at the end of the show, when all's said and done, because he did all that, and he was ended up being hated by the people who are now in charge of the alliance. But
Mm.
again with Clea, he was like one of the main reasons that eventually the Empire get defeated. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so number 1, Luther Rail. I don't really have much more to say
Yeah.
than that other
No,
than
I
go
was
on.
going to say, I think you argued that the show could have been called Luthen as well, so, at one point. So
I think so,
yeah.
but by the end, I kind of got the impression that Luthen was answering to Clea, to be quite honest with you. By the end of it, I think that she was the one who kept him together,
Yeah.
to kept him
Yeah.
sane and kept him on the right path. To be honest with you, so
Yeah.
yeah, I genuinely think actually it might have been Luthen who started off training her. We're doing a review of Andor right now.
Yeah,
We
we
should be
are
doing a top
really. Yeah,
10.
let's
So
get on.
I'm going
Yeah.
to.
We'll leave it there. All right. So there's also the small matter of picking a playset or a shuttle or vehicle or creature. Anything?
Yeah, I've gone for. I really wanted to pick Luthen's ship
Mm.
because it's awesome, but I think it would be too big, to be quite honest with you, to do justice. Um, so if they did a HasLab of that, then I absolutely would be picking that. But I've gone for a simple one. I'm afraid I've gone for the speeder that Luthen uses when he's on Ferrix to get to the town at the end of. I think it's at the beginning of the last episode. He uses it. I know it's a bit boring. We've had speeders before, but I'm thinking TVC wise, we don't want them to be too expensive, and we want them to be small enough to fit in my collection rooms. So I've gone for a speeder.
Fair enough. Okay. Yep. My pick, I think I will go for Luthen Rail, but I'm actually going to do something here where I'm probably going to list what our audience is going to put in the comments, because you've missed out so many good characters like Cyril Khan. How did you not put him in there? He
was a consideration.
Such a good Brasso and Willman. You know, I was tempted to go with Moroff. Do you know Moroff?
Oh, the
white creature.
Looking. Yeah, I did
that you
consider
see
him
in
as
Rogue
well.
One. I love the look of that guy.
Melshi? Did I not pick him in Rogue One?
I don't think you picked him in Rogue One. I think you might have picked Melshi though.
I did
and
pick
Saw
Melshi.
Gerrera.
Yeah,
you probably picked those two.
Yeah,
so
those. Yeah, that's why they weren't considered. Yeah,
yeah. I'll give you a pass on those two, but this show is just full of amazing characters.
Yeah, I'm with you with Cyril Khan. I'm with you with Cyril Khan. He was definitely close to getting into the top 10, and I think he's a great character. But for me, it was difficult to find. Obviously I'm thinking about the outfit that the characters wear when I'm picking them, and he just wears generic suits a lot of the time in the show. And would that be an interesting card back and an action figure? I'm not so certain.
True.
So so that kind of
maybe
knocks him out of
early
running.
outfits. I don't know. It's Ferrix.
Yeah, maybe you could use his military outfit.
Yeah, they could have done a lot with it. Cinta.
She was a consideration. But didn't get in.
There was a lot of really, really good choices out there. Just make them all Hasbro. We just want to see a whole run of Andor now, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, excellent, awesome. Well, that's your picks then, Martyn. Hopefully everyone watching can let us know in the comments what their picks are. We'll add those to our little list that we're doing. Hit like on this episode. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. We'll see you later.